Alright YouTube, I figured I'd do another garden update here. It's been a while and I'll show you one of the reasons why in a minute. But first we'll get to the garden here. So if I step back, you can see these couple cherry tomato plants on the right are growing by leaps and bounds. They're doing good. They are putting on some cherry tomatoes and doing good. And then I got some shorter tomato plants over here. These guys are Romas. Again, putting on some fruit. No blossom end rot on any of these. And looking good. The peppers that seem to kind of take forever to get moving are actually finally moving a little bit. So that's encouraging. Cilantro that went to seed. Here we got some Swiss chard. These guys I bought from Ace. The spinach was here, and then I bought these starts from Ace, and they've literally done nothing for about 3 weeks, although I want to say I'm finally seeing some kind of new growth on them. So I don't know if they were just in like a really long transplant shock or what, but they're starting to maybe show some life. Bunch of carrots I probably need to get out of the ground by now. Haven't had a chance to quite yet. These two tomato plants are lagging, especially compared to those other ones I just showed you. I mean, they're growing fine. There's no blight or anything, so I'm happy with them, but they're just going a little slower. These cucumbers are banging out good. No cucumbers yet, but the plant itself is growing nice, climbing right up the trellis for the most part. Hey, Cody, get away from there, bud. Sorry about that, guys. Lettuce plants that went to seed. The only reason I'm leaving them like this is just because it keeps the leaves fresh. And I know everybody says that lettuce goes bitter once it goes to seed, but honestly, I barely notice any taste difference. So I just leave them in the ground so that if I harvest them all, it's not going to go bad and I can still kind of come and harvest it as I need it. Here we got some more Swiss chard. These peppers back here are probably not planted in the best strategy because they're getting blocked out by the Swiss chard and the seeding lettuce. But they're slowly moving along. The only one that's really doing a whole lot is that one there because it gets a little afternoon sun coming from that direction. But yeah, peppers are doing all right. Here I've got cabbages and cauliflowers. And despite some holes from the green cabbage moth, they are still growing pretty good. And I finally used BT spray for the first time. And hopefully that helps out pretty good. Tomatillos. These guys kind of had a rocky start. Had a lot of holes in the leaves. But there's 4 tomatillo plants there that are growing nice now. These beans we've already harvested a bunch off of. But as you can see, there's more green beans coming up. We dehydrate them. It's kind of the only way I really like to eat them. Over here, more cabbage and maybe cauliflower. I think just cabbage, or possibly actually Romanesco broccoli for these two. And that is all doing great. This stuff got sprayed with BT spray. It's like a freaking kale jungle over here. Excuse me. Another tomato plant. I forget if this one's a Roma or a cherry. We'll find out when it starts to fruit. And then I've got cucumbers along the back here. Kind of trying to help them find the trellis. Some of them like shoot right through it and then grab onto the chicken wire. I've already got one crossed over the chain link fence. You can kind of barely see there. And these cucumbers also got shaded out by the kale more than I thought. I figured they would start to climb a little sooner and not be shaded out for so long. But once they get up a little higher, they should be fine. I mean, this one here is kind of made it out of the shade of the kale and is doing really good. Alright, so then the other thing that's kind of a little more interesting. Oh yeah, and here I replanted a couple store-bought red potatoes that apparently don't have any growth inhibitor on them, and I need to replant all those buckets. But this is the reason why nothing's been going on, or not too much has been going on. Our river got a ton of rain. Hi chickens. And I've actually had to sandbag the chicken run because the flood is creeping up real close. Now you might not be able to see from here. I don't know if I can zoom on this video. Oh, I can. But my neighbor's pier got taken out. The seawall is normally where those bushes are. Right about there is normally where the seawall goes. And that is all taken out by the river. Here we got it creeping into the yard. Here's where it cost me probably $4,000 unless I can salvage anything. But it ripped my pier right out of the ground and flipped it over. That wheel out there is part of the Wave Runner lift. And here's the Wave Runner in the yard. This river, I don't really show you guys the river all that much in the videos, but this thing is way over its banks. I think it's 10 feet over flood stages possibly. Don't quote me on that. But either way, it's way over where it should be. You can see my neighbor's pier has acquired an island at the end of it of debris. Their porch is going under. So anyway, you guys gotta. So that's what's going on here. That's why I'm happy. Or that's why I haven't been doing anything in the garden really. For the most part, it's just been hard to really do much. I had to vacuum out my basement a bit. So you can see, I guess from here, it doesn't look like the water's getting too close to the chickens. Oh my God, look at that, what a freaking mess. Hopefully I can salvage some of that pier. I don't know though, it got ripped out of the ground and twisted and flipped upside down. So, we'll see. Have it right in front of my eyes. It was kind of cool to witness the raw power of nature, but yeah, not so cool when it's your private property getting destroyed. So we sandbagged the chicken run. This seems kind of ridiculous, and I also have a spot for them in the garage if I need to. But I'm about to run to work now, and I'm gone for 8 hours. Well, I'm gone for 10 hours, but my fiance will be back in time, so that they'll only be left for about 8 hours. And with how quick it's moving, it's rising, which it might have crested today, so it may be done rising. You know, if anything, it would get up to the sandbags by the time I got home from work, and we'd still have time to do something with these girls. And I'd also assume that their instincts would kick in a bit, and if water actually did make it past the sandbags, they'd march up their little ladder and go in the coop, which is another like 15 to 18 inches off the ground. So that's what's been going on here. I'm on the Fox River in northern Illinois. The whole Chain of Lakes area, we got slammed with like 7 inches of rain. And so, yeah, it's been very interesting times. Everyone's been tying off boats and jumping in the river to try to save watercraft and stuff like that. So, hope it's been a little more peaceful by you guys. Have a good one. We'll see you later.